At one time, the Eastern Orthodox and the Roman Catholics were branches of the same body, the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. The two branches had already had disagreements pertaining to the nature of the Holy Spirit, the use of the icons in worship, and the correct date for celebrating Easter. They also had cultural differences as well. The Eastern mindsets were more towards philosophy, mysticism, and ideology, while the Western mindset was more practical and legal mentality. In 330 AD, the Emperor Constantine moved the capital of the Roman Empire and called it Constantinople. After he died, his two sons divided the empire, one taking the eastern portion and the other the western. The actual split between the two religions happened in 1054 AD, when Pope Leo IX stopped communicating with the Patriarch of Constantinople, who in return made a mutual excommunication. From there, the two began to change some aspects of the religion without communicating it to each other, making the slight differences between the two religions. The Roman Catholics were able to flourish and travel to the United States, while the Eastern Orthodox had to go underground to not be prosecuted by the Muslim ruling that was happening at the time. After many years, the Eastern Orthodox finally got to come out from underground and some moved to the United States, where no one knew about the religion. Today, they are still a minority. However, recently they started to remove the mutual excommunication with the Roman Catholics to start trying to bring together the two religions again.
From 1821 to 1871, congregants of the Eastern Orthodox Church first arrived to Ellis Island, New York. The newly arrived immigrants searched for people who were also members of the Eastern Orthodox religion. They soon learned that no one knew what the Eastern Orthodox religion was, because they had been hiding due to persecution from the Muslims. They did not assimilate to any other religion, so instead of simply joining another religious group, they decided to stick to their unique practices. Up to this day, the Eastern Orthodox Church is considered a minority culture, but the number of members keeps growing. When we visited our cultural space, we were a bit afraid of making any remarks or any actions that may be disrespectful to this religion. We had done our research before we attended St. George's Greek Orthodox Church, and we knew there were certain ways we should dress. When we first met Father Joseph, we felt very welcomed. He didn't mind that Megan didn't have a headscarf, and that we didn't know exactly what to do when we walked into the church. For example, making the sign of the cross on oneself. You are supposed to kiss the Father's hand or the icons as you walk in or out of the church. I sensed some acculturation in the sense that Father Joseph understood that we came from different cultural, religious, and non-religious backgrounds. St. George's hosts an annual Greek food festival, and they invite everyone in our community to come and experience the culture's food, music, practices, and people.
What is symbolic significance? It is the importance or meaning that most members of a cultural group attach to a communication activity. The way this concept appeared within this cultural group was through many things. Some examples would be prayer, worship, and confessional. Each one of these things are very important within their religion, so that way they can use them as ways to communicate with their God. Theory symbolic interactionism is the theoretical perspective in which a society is viewed as composed symbols that people use to establish meaning, develop their views of the world, and communicate with one another. So how is this theory shown in the culture? This culture has a major symbol they use to help establish meaning. This object would be the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible provides a type of guideline on how they should deal with the society. It also brings in many of their cultural practices and views within their community. This symbol is very important within their cultural group to help follow the cultural beliefs.
If we had a redo in this project, we would like to have better communication between Father Joseph and our group. He didn't understand we wanted to take pictures and attend service, and we would have liked to make it clear that we want more material to add to our project. One of the highlights for me during our visit was when Father Joseph asked one of his congregants a question and he called her by her name. I automatically felt how closely knit the Eastern Orthodox community is here in Bakersfield.
I would say that the best experience for me was actually pretty funny. At one point, Father Joseph asked us what the biggest state was as a reference to something he was talking about, and we all blinked. None of us could remember what the biggest state was. Instead of Father Joseph being rude about it or anything like that, he just laughed along with us because he thought it was funny that we were so nervous that we had forgot. He made us feel very comfortable about the fact that we couldn't remember what the biggest state was.